Hi, thanks for joining me again. Today what I'm going to have a look at is a cheese knife set. Now I've got the bits here. Because it's already listed, I've actually got one already finished. There's one of the blades. It comes in a set of 4 blades. That's the next blade. There's a little cheese fork section there. There's another little knife section there. All individually bagged and all with little ferrules. Now, there's an easy way and a hard way of turning these kits. They can be turned at one end, and they simply need a 6mm hole drilled in the blank, and you then have to support and turn held at one end. Or you could do it an easier way and use something like this little steel cap, and we supply these again in the kits. Or you could invest in a little bit of something extra. This is one of our chrome end caps. These come in a pack of 4 and just finish it off nicely. Now what that little end piece does, and that little piece there does, is mean you can actually turn it between centres. That's what I'm going to do today. I have got a blank. I'm not going to concentrate too much on the turning. It's more about the kits and the hole sizes, and there are different hole sizes depending on how you're actually going to turn the kit. So let's have a look and see what we're going to do. The blade parts of the kits that I'm holding up here are all stainless steel, polished stainless steel, and they all have the same size ends. All these ends, and the 4th one I've already made, require a 6mm hole in the blank to put these into. And you then have to fit, before it's assembled, the ferrule. The ferrule part, which is this part here, requires 14mm diameter tenon, 7mm deep. It's not absolutely critical that this is a tight fit. It is just when the whole thing is assembled, this part's just to stop the wood splitting. That's really all it does. So what I've got here is a blank, and at this end is a 6mm hole, and the 6mm hole is for that part to go into there. Now what we're going to do is turn this, and I'm going to use one of the steel caps in this end, and to assemble the kit it's simply a case of pushing that, putting this in a vise and pushing your turned piece onto the top of it. You might need to just gently tap it in, not with a metal hammer. If you have one, a rubber mallet is ideal for doing this. You obviously don't want to damage the turning that you've just made. Now I'm going to use this steel cap here. Sorry, they are quite small, so difficult to hold up for the camera, and this little cap that comes with the pack requires a 5mm pilot hole. So my blank has got 6mm for the blade at this end and 5mm for the cap at the other end, and this is easier because it means we can obviously turn this between centres. Much easier to turn. The one that I've already done here has got the little chrome end caps, and these fit on. I fitted this one with a little piece of dowel, 6mm dowel, so at this one you have 6mm at both ends. Probably me explaining it is more difficult than actually just grabbing hold of it, measuring it and doing it, as is often the case, which is why we do these videos, because it takes so long to impart information by written and diagrammatical instructions. I can explain so much more on a video, so much quicker, and hopefully give you some options as to how things can be done as well, which tends not to be done on instructions or guide sheets. So hence the reason for these videos. Today I'm using a light pull drive. I could have used my homemade drive that I've ground on the bench grinder, but that would involve me putting the chuck on, and I've already got some jaws on that, so I'm not doing that. I'm using the light pull drive, live centre at this end. My 6mm hole is at this end, my 5mm hole for the steel end cap is at this end, and I'm now just going to turn this around and shape it, and show you how to assemble a very easy but satisfying cheese knife. Now, because I'm turning this between centres, the first thing I'm going to do is turn the little tenon for the ferrule at this end. I don't think the camera can quite see what I'm doing this end, but I've measured the ferrule with the calipers, and I'm just going to make sure that I've got the right dimensions there, and I can then simply shape this section and finish it and look at assembling. I can actually remove this, and I can double check that I've got the cap the right size, and there you can see the ferrule fits on quite nicely there. It's not tight, it doesn't have to be tight, it is just to stop the wood splitting, so that's fine at that end. So that really is finished. So there we have our little handle with the tenon for the ferrule, 6mm hole this end for the blade, and a 5mm hole for the steel cap at this end. And we're now going to go over to the vise and assemble it very, very quickly. So assembly is very, very quick. I've got my handle, I've got my blade, I've got my little steel cap, and I've got my steel ferrule. The first thing I'm going to do is to take my handle and pop in the 5mm end a little steel cap there, so you can see that's in there. I'm then going to pop the blade into the vise, and I'm going to make sure that is straight and upright and in there nice and tight. Really does need to be tight, that. The ferrule pops on the end there, and it's then just a question of popping that on there, and with a little rubber mallet just gently tapping the handle onto the blade. So there we have the finished kit with the cheese blade, ferrule nicely fixed and firm on there, and a little steel end cap there, and quite a nice little beach handle there as well. They make lovely little sets, and they're really quite good value too. So there we have a very simple finished cheese knife with a stainless steel blade, ferrule fitted there, and the little steel cap at the end. There's the one I did earlier before, as I've shown you, with the chrome end cap. Those aren't included in the set, those are available separately. And of course you could do other things. You could even make a square one if you wish to do so, or if you want something a little bit more impressive, here's one I did just when I'd finished the filming. It's actually hand size, that's quite a nice one. So you can, with these kits, make them as long or short as you want, and can shape them however you like, because they're, like a lot of our kits, not a tube type kit. I hope that's been useful. Thanks very much for watching. We hope to see you in our next video. Take care, bye bye now.